Josera strongly commits itself to the goals of the Paris Agreement and even beyond that. And for that, we established our own forest conservation project that will offset all the carbon dioxide emissions we cannot avoid or reduce in the production of pet food. We set up this project in Tanzania in the year 2017 in the Ntakata mountain region. And with the project, we often do have to emphasize that it's not a reforestation project, but purely conservation of native jungle. And our project area there covers about 2,000 square kilometers. That is, for US comparison, maybe the size of Rhode Island. And now to the point why we did choose to commit in a project in Tanzania. First, you have to face that vegetation close to the equator has a much higher leverage of compensation. And of course, that same goes for old, huge grown trees over small saplings. But besides that, the project covers two more very, very important dimensions for us. It's people and animals. With our initiative, the Ntakata region became a safe area for many endangered animals like chimpanzees or jungle elephants. And beyond the destruction of native jungle is also one of the main drivers for poverty and migration. And so with the profits from our carbon dioxide certificates, the inhabitants of the Ntakata region are investing in infrastructure, healthcare, and sustainable forestry. And that project is maybe what still makes us unique in our combat to climate change as a company. In Europe, we also have been the first, or at least among the first, that created vegetarian and vegan dog food and introduced insect proteins in Europe. And furthermore, we give the consumers now a choice of climate positive pet food with our special brand Green Pet Food. Maybe more is to come in the area of alternative proteins, and we hope to keep on setting benchmarks there also due to our responsibility for our generations to follow. That is how we are taking action in the combat versus climate change.
We have focused on inclusive growth for the past 20 years, and we've done it primarily in three ways. One is that we have a private-public partnership with Imagine, and we bring specially abled people into our company, and they do regular work. They do packaging work for us, they create samples, they have KPIs. They're integrated as part of the team. The second thing that we've done is we created a partnership through Guide Dogs for the Blind with the world's only professional long-distance blind hiker. And so for the past 8 years, we have sponsored and supported both of his guide dogs and have allowed him to break world records and his dogs to break world records in the number of miles hiked. So we've worked with them now for about 8 years. And the third thing that we do is we bring into our company interns. We work with the Lead School of Business at CU, and we bring interns into our company all the time. We have 2 interns who are working with us and bring another perspective into InClover and provide them with a perspective that perhaps they wouldn't be getting in the typical academic environment. And in addition to that, I have been working with Lead School and have mentees for about the past 5 years. And as they graduate, I stay in touch with them as young professionals and continue to work with them, which brings a whole new perspective to me and into the company. And it brings a sense of inclusiveness and diversity to the company that we wouldn't get otherwise.
We think responsible production and consumption are really key. And since 2004, WestPA has been converting post-consumer recycled Zogaflex into brand new toys right here in the factory. And we do this by encouraging our retailers and our consumers to send us back their dog-tired Zogaflex toys that we will then clean, sanitize, grind up, and put right back through our machines to create new products. And so since 2004, this Join the Loop program has been really successful. And by also working with our retailers and incentivizing them to help collect Zogaflex toys, we can get even more back. And we're scaling that program up in the year ahead. But just exciting to see recyclability being so tangible and so real. And since we started keeping some better statistics in 2014, we have recycled just about 8,200 pounds of Zogaflex, and we'd like to see that number grow significantly. The more we get more retailers on board in the year ahead, the more we get consumers on board, we think we can get even more here at Westpaw that keeps it out of the landfill and gives those toys another life. With a lot of the country, when George Floyd was murdered, we were all shocked and concerned about Black Lives Matter and racism being so prevalent in our country. And we didn't really know what to do. And I think that as anybody who's on a path for more sustainability, it's important to kind of recognize you don't have all the answers, and you may not have had all the experiences to help get there. And so one of the things that we knew is that our production team and our office teams right here in this facility were struggling with the question of like, what is going on with racism? How do I as an individual become more informed, more educated? And so what we did as a first action was we just hosted some optional talking sessions. We allowed all of our people to step out of their work and come and meet outside and to just have conversation. We've had several of those sessions, which were really healing and important because people didn't know how to process this information around race and racism and what we could do. And then we started providing, through our work as a certified B Corp, we had access to content that B Lab, the organization, the nonprofit behind B Corps, was putting together that was really great research, both in terms of webinars, reading materials, and we started sharing that out with our staff and having continued dialogue. And the Pet Sustainability Coalition has been a fantastic resource with 1,000 actions, and our staff loved the fact that they could participate in that. Not everybody chose to, which was awesome, that some people thought that was really something they wanted to make time for, and some chose not to, but they all were aware of our internal drive to make sure that we could be a business that was progressing with diversity, equity, and inclusion.
So Morris, we look at it as it's a multi-pronged deal. One thing just doesn't get you to the end game. So we have recyclability through our ink usage. So we send it out to be reclaimed and reuse that back in our process. All of our materials, our scrap materials, are sent out for recycling. We have customers, a lot of customers on the West Coast. So we'll gang shipments together. Instead of making multiple truckloads or multiple truck shipments, we try to gang that to have one truck shipment. And so we're making multiple stops, but our customers are for that as well because they understand the sustainability aspect of that as well. Fewer shipments, fewer trucks on the road, fewer emissions. So it's just multiple, and we take that back to our suppliers too, is we will bring in multiple, generally full truckloads. We don't bring in partial truckloads of raw materials into our facility. So we are truly greatly honored to have been awarded best in category by the PSC. It was a tremendous honor. We have reach boards that we have in all of our facilities for employees for messaging. That was broadcast over every reach board in all of our plants, and the response from our employees was overwhelming. How excited they were that we were awarded that prize, and now it's driving us to even try to get better for next year.
Being vertically integrated allows us to start at the field level and maintain ownership all the way up through manufacture. I'll hit on a couple, 2 or 3 that we've really focused on recently. So just like any agribusiness or any business that produces ingredients, you are going to consume. And I think that's a great thing to remember, that there is consumption, but the key part of your question, right? You said responsible consumption. So we are going to consume, but we can do that responsibly. One thing that we've done, we have to harvest our crop. And so we run big equipment that has a lot of fuel consumption to be able to harvest that. So one thing that we've done is every 3 years, we try to upgrade our equipment so that we're at the latest, greatest technology as far as fuel efficiency, as well as emissions. So we've really seen that our fuel consumption has been able to go down. And we've also been able to have good emission results. And part of the LCA that we've done showed how much we were able to decrease our fuel consumption and really hit on the sustainability side there. Another thing that we've done as we grow, some of these are more immediate than others, right? So you can do immediate things, and then some you have to kind of plan out. Exactly. One thing that we really planned was to, as we expand and grow, is to bring our acreage more close to our manufacturing facility. So because we harvest this crop, we transport it. Transportation is a huge thing. Again, trucks, everything that all of us humans consume has been on a truck at one point in time. And we have to remember that. And it goes with any ingredient, any the cup that you drink your coffee from, right? It was on a truck at some point in time. So by putting our fields closer, we consume less fuel again, and really help to conserve in that way. Those are a few of our big areas that we've tried to focus on. Now we've got to really dig in and find those little areas that we can really work on becoming more sustainable.
Together we are
Impact in action.
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 Impact in action.